very few slides. So the first one was to reflect about what are basic sciences, but Professor Spiro has already said a lot about basic sciences. So they are defined as sciences that are fundamental to other sciences and technologies, science which are at the basis of the other sciences, and that's why they are so important. Usually mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology are considered as the basic sciences with the idea, with a specific order, because you can use mathematics in physics and use physics and math in chemistry and use all of that in biology. So there is this idea that those four sciences are at the basis of many other knowledge. I don't know where, so I compared these four scientific fields with the data collections I had, and especially with the she figures. And I didn't know where to put ICT, information and communication technologies. So are they basic sciences or not? Because they are very often included with math in the same group, math and natural science. So I didn't know. So I let this open, what is the status of ICT. So they are very often curiosity-based science, as it was said, frontier research, pure science, but they also cover contributions to research applications, mechanism to adequately use knowledge and transfer technologies, know-how to ensure effective implementation. I quote here the UNESCO report on basic science for sustainable development, which is behind this international year. So it's not only pure science, it may be applied science, but what is important is the fact that they are fundamental and they are the basis for other knowledge. So the basic science for sustainable development now, because it is today's topic. So it's basic science contributing to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And Professor Spiro gave us many examples of that. I checked some numbers from the She Figures 2021. So we can see that women are close to reaching gender parity among doctoral graduates, which is very good news, but that they are still underrepresented in technical professions. Only around 25% of them are in science and technology professions. So it's a little bit tricky because, as you can see, those fields are not covering basic science. It's slightly different. But anyway, it provides some idea of what is at stake. So the fact that we have a pool of talents, and in this pool of talents, we have 45% of women. So we have 45% of women in natural science, mathematics, and statistics. So again, it's not exactly basic science, but it's close to that. It's among the graduates. We have 60% of women in biology, and I have not found chemistry in the She figures. So it's probably splitted in different categories. But if we have 45% of women among its doctoral graduates in natural science, mathematics, and statistics, when you look closer, you discover that there are only around 48% of women in physical science, only 32 in mathematics and statistics, and only 20 in ICT. So depending on the field, the numbers may be very different. Another number, but which is not good, is that between 2015 and 2018, there was very little progress towards increasing women's representation among doctoral graduates in those narrow fields of STEM. So nothing is really moving. If we move now to the proportion of doctoral graduates by broad fields of study, by sex, so the good thing is that many doctoral graduates, there are many doctoral graduates among natural scientists, mathematicians, and statisticians, 24% of women and 27% of men. So it means that more or less 1 on 4 students will become a doctor, so which is a lot compared to many other fields. But as you can see, slightly more men than women will begin doctoral studies. And so we need to encourage women to enter in doctoral studies in those fields. After those numbers, I will try to explain what is behind the title of this roundtable. So it's about gender and intersectional representation in basic science. And you probably ask yourself, but what is representation? So it was it's a bit vague for purpose. So you can understand that it is about the proportion of researchers, of men and women researchers in those fields. But you can also understand that it is about the representation of gender in the research contents in that specific disciplinary field. But representation could be also the expectations or the stereotypes in those fields. And I would like here to quote a paper I found very inspiring by Leslie Champion and Mayer. The title is Expectations of Brilliance Underlie Gender Distributions Across Academic Disciplines. And the paper, the authors have an hypothesis. They make the hypothesis that across the academic spectrum, women are underrepresented in fields whose practitioners believe that raw innate talent is the main requirement for success, because women are stereotyped as not possessing such talent. And when you look at the graphs provided with the paper, you realize that almost all basic science, that it's especially true for basic science and especially for math and physics, but also philosophy, which is probably the worst field regarding this belief. And that's also true for African Americans underrepresentation. And so it goes with our concern for intersectionality we would like to address with gender equality. So I sent this paper to all our presenters, and I hope they have been inspired by that. I will now shortly introduce the participants to the roundtable. So I start with Colette Guillopé. Colette Guillopé is a mathematician and with a dual career as researcher and teacher. She has been also successively president of the French associations Femmes et Mathématiques and Femmes et Sciences. She has also been in charge of parity in her university for 5 years, 2011 to 2016. She contributed to the creation of the association CPED, the Standing Conference of Officers for Equality and Diversity in Higher Education and Research Institutions. And today there are more than 80 institutions which are members of this network in France. She was, as representative of the French Association Femmes et Mathématiques, she has been a member of the board of administration of the European Platform of Women Scientists since 2019, being vice president since 2021. She represents EPWS as partner of the Cost Action Voices, and she's one of the 2 members of the management committee representing France. Her expertise is geared towards the promotion of girls and women in fields where there are very few, and also deals with gender-based violence in higher education and research. So Colette Guillopé is professor of mathematics. I will introduce May Morris. So May Morris is from biology. She's doctor in biology and health science. She works at Montpellier University. She was hired in 2000 at the CNRS, and she was promoted CNRS research director in 2010. She currently heads the kinase biosensors and inhibitors group within the team of cellular pharmacology at the Institute of Biomolecule Max Mousseron in Montpellier. Her research interests concern molecular signaling in cancer, development of biosensing technologies for diagnostic and anti-cancer therapeutics. She has published over 80 articles in peer-reviewed journal, and she's also an active member of Femmes et Sciences since 2008. She's a board of administration member. She coordinates the Femmes et Sciences group in Montpellier. She has established the first mentoring program for female doctoral students, which became fully recognized in 2015. And she organized the annual Femmes et Sciences conference on mentoring, coaching, and professional support for scientific women. And we will probably work together on some big conference about mentoring next year. So thank you, May, for being with us. I will now introduce the last speaker, who is Ana Ferreira, an assistant researcher in sociology of science and technology studies at the Interdisciplinary Science Center of Social Science of the Faculty of Social Science and Humanity in Portugal. Recently, her research is focused on understanding how modifications in academic organizations, increasingly relying on precarious labor and management structures, practices, top delineated, short-term and application-driven, and epistemic culture, articulating a meritocratic culture with the rhetoric of self-realization frame, on the one hand, knowledge and production, and on the other, academic life trajectories of researchers. So that's our current research, and it is totally in line with our research in the Voices Cost Action. Work has resulted in 22 indexed papers, 7 book chapters, and 1 book. And additionally, she has been an invited assistant professor of sociology. So thanks for being with us, Anna, and bringing some STS perspective on our topic. We'll have 2 different parts in this roundtable. In the first part, I will ask all the participants, so the mathematician, the biologist, and the STS scholar, I will ask them about the situation in the basic sciences they practice or they study, with some examples. And in the second part, I will ask them to talk about barrier, challenges, achievement and progress concerning gender equality and intersectionality on those fields. So let's start. I will stop.
What's SD? Sorry, what's SD?
Sustainable development.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because I want to bring you back to the specific topic of this table, which is, of course, basic science, but also basic science for sustainable development with a specific focus on young researchers.